back in 2006 when I joined, it was a very different environment because I was the first consumer specialist investor at Lightspeed and one of the first consumer specialists in the industry, because up until that point, everyone was a generalist. You know, people did enterprise software, they did infrastructure, they did consumer, they did everything. And so my advantage was that I actually had a depth of understanding of the consumer net that went back to 1995, which meant, you know, by 2006, a decade of experience, which was about as much experience as you could actually have in the consumer internet. It sounds funny to say that I was a specialist of the consumer internet because, you know, today, like, that's a gigantic field. And like now you're a specialist in social media, you're a specialist in AI, you're a specialist in marketplaces, you know, whatever it is. But at that time, it was enough to be a specialist in that entrepreneurs could tell the difference. I really could recognize that I understood better than a generalist venture capitalist how their business was going to get built, what were the most important metrics, where they should be spending their time, you know, things that had worked and not worked in the past. That was my start, helped me differentiate myself, because that is the challenge when you start out in venture capital, is how do you win competitive deals? And when you're new to the industry and all of the other people who are interested in leading this deal from other firms have decades of experience and a whole list of successful companies who you don't, like, how do you get someone to choose you? And you have to have something that the others don't. And you won't win every time, but sometimes you'll win because people will be like, oh yeah, like, sure, he doesn't have, you know, 10 years of experience as venture capital. He doesn't have, he hasn't taken any companies public before, but he seems to understand my business better than the other folks. And so I'd rather work with that guy.